So we learned about string type yesterday, and we discussed about working with what string formatting methods. We learned how style binding works and how class binding works. What is the meaning of style binding is applying the CSS styles dynamically to any element and applying CSS classes dynamically to any element. That is class binding. Why? Why we need to apply dynamically? Because element appearance must change according to state and situation. The element appearance must change. So for that, we can use the style binding and class binding techniques. Right? Now, after understanding this, today we will see how to handle string manipulation. Methods and properties. String manipulation related methods and properties. So in JavaScript, several string manipulation methods are present. So string formatting and string manipulation. In string manipulation, so one basic is length. Length is nothing but it returns the total count of characters in a string. How many characters are there in a string? It returns the count of characters in a string. So total count of characters in a string is, for example, we have some welcome and str.length is equal to, so str.length, it returns how many characters are present, it will return 7 characters, it returns that length. So if anything you want to control using length, we can use it. For example, see here, I will add one example. So in this Flipkart, yeah. So here let's add another page, string demo to HTML. In this, we have a simple page. This is having some data list, data term, username, and the input type is text and ID is username. So we have another data definition, ID is user error. Okay, so we need to verify when user is typing the name. Then I will use a event called onKeyUp. We are going to learn all the events in one place later. We will discuss them. As of now, few events we used occasionally, situation wise. On click, on load, on change. Yesterday we saw on blur, on blur. These are some events we learned. So similarly, so many other events are there. We will see them, right? So in this, first important is here on key up means what activity to perform whenever user releases the key. Immediately what action to perform when user release the key? Means for every key, it will verify. That means for every character, it will verify. Key up. On key up, we will say verify name. It's a function. We will write the script here. Temporarily, I am not writing all rules, but every time you have to follow rules like what type, text, JavaScript and all. So every time I am not writing them, but you write every time when you define. Here, function, what is the function verify name? First, we will collect username, document element by ID username. And where user error, document get element by ID user error. So I will use camel case here. Yeah. Username, user error. Now username is a string. I need to know how much length it is. Then what we will do is if username, it is a string dot length. If username length is less than 4. If it is less than 4, so then I will put a message user error inner HTML. We will say name too short. We'll keep that. And minimum 4 characters required. That's what we want to define. So if it is, that is one condition I am writing. There is another condition to verify. We have another condition to verify. Suppose username is greater than 10, right? Then I want another message to display. You haven't learned how to write conditions. In next level, you will learn. But as of now, I am just giving a simple another condition, else if name is greater than suppose 10. So if it is username is greater than 10, so then user error dot inner HTML, we should say name too long and max 10 characters only. That's what we are defining. Otherwise, if it is not less than 4 and if it is not greater than 10, then user error dot inner HTML, it should display empty. There is no message. Now what we are doing here we are typing that name. So in this we are entering the name. So username, I am clicking here and typing some name. And it should say username short, username long. We are writing for every character, verify name is there. It is showing actually empty. Why? Because the condition is not correctly defined. Generally, suppose if I remove this condition, level, first level, you see I am typing, then it should display that. What is that? It should display if username length is that. Actually, our conditions will work if we collect the value. As of now, username is not a value. Username is only text box. We need to verify text box length. That is wrong. Text box value length. So this username is just text box. How to collect its value? You can use dot value, or here also you can write. So that is dot value. that is text box value dot length. Or if you want to collect only the value, then you can write here also dot value. Now here, when I am typing here, so username, so it says name too short. So I entered minimum 4, that's okay. More than 10 characters entered, then it should display another message. For that, this else if is not correct, we have to write another condition, right? I will tell you how to write the conditions, because as I already told you, we haven't learned how to write condition, right? Generally, suppose I will show you the point, means all consequences I will tell you. Level by level, we will see. See, level by level is first thing, user must enter name. If name is not entered, it should say username required. So how to do that is, if username is equal to empty, string is having some characters or not, we can verify like this. Or some people have an habit of verifying dot length is equal to 0. Length is equal to 0 means there are no characters. Both are same. Suppose if length is equal to 0, what should happen? So we will use user error dot inner HTML. We will say name required. This must be in red color. Then dot font color. Font color, we are giving color name as red. Those are string functions yesterday we learned. And see here, I am typing something. And if I don't have anything, then it says name required. By default, why it is not coming? By default, it is not coming because we written on key up. Only when you type, it will verify. By default, it is not verifying. By default, if you want to verify, we have to write on body load also, right? As of now, it is verifying on what? Key up. Okay. And see here, if I entered some name, it is not removed. Then how to do? So we have to write. So if it is else, then user error dot inner HTML is equal to empty. Remove that. Now you see it's okay. If I remove that, then it says you entered something. Now it is again gone. You are removing the characters. It says name required. How you are verifying? By using length. Now, if they are entering something, that means now in this else, we have to write another condition. What is that condition? This else is name is having some length. This condition indicates name length is 0. If name length is not 0, then we will write another condition. Here what we will write? Username dot length is how much? Suppose if it is less than 4. It is less than 4. Then we will put another message. What is it? User error dot inner HTML. We will say name too short. And we will apply font color. So font color, we will keep it as again red. Name too short is red. Otherwise, if it is greater than 4, then user error dot inner HTML, we keep it as empty. This is level by level we are writing. So see now, I am entering here name too short. Minimum 4 characters entered, it is gone. We are not having minimum 4 characters, then it is name too short. I remove those 3 characters also, then it says name required. That means the message will be changing. It is required it is short, it is long. You can verify by using which option this condition. Like that, we will see lot of conditions when we learn if concept, how to write if. But this is okay. Now you can try this. In this, I just used only 2 levels. Like that, so many levels in next concept we will see. Actually, if you want to verify another, then what we have to do inside that if, another condition we have to write. Like that, multi-level conditions we will write. As of now, this is enough because we are in the beginning level. These are enough. Later we will do very complex. Okay. So this is related to one concept called length. That is related to just length, right? So length, whether value is present or not, how we will verify? Value present or not, we will verify in 2 ways. So one is string is equal to empty. This is empty. What is another technique? Str dot what? Length. Length is equal to how much? This is also empty. You can use anyway. How many characters are there? We can verify by using this. This is example. This is first important property, that is length. Next important, after understanding the length, next option is here. We have another option, methods. This is second one. We have like char at. It returns the character at a specified index. So syntactically, suppose where str is equal to welcome, then str dot char 0. This is going to return w. Which character is present at that particular position? At that position, which character is present, we can get that character. That means we can know at which position which character is present, right? There is another option, char code at. So it returns the character code. It returns the character code. So character code, actually this is ASCII code. So present at specified index. The characters code which is present at specified index. And ASCII code is nothing but, for example, ASCII codes, character codes are nothing but these codes will actually like this. That means A is equal to 65. Z is equal to 90. That means if any uppercase letter is there, it will be between 65 to 90. You return any character, that character will have a code. Usually character codes uppercase starts with 65. If it is 65 to 90, it is upper. Suppose you want to know the character codes, I will show you later here. See, generally, I will just use here. In this, let's open inspect. Let's go to the console. We will go to the console. And here in this console, we will check the values. See, when user is using key up, I am using key up. Here, I will write E Later you will learn about it, event arguments and all. I'm just using an event. Just observe the codes, you will understand. So I'm using console.log e dot key code I'm using. I'm just showing you. Suppose see, I click here and type a character. So A 65. Actually, this is key code. Generally, key codes are correctly verified by using not key up. They are verified by using key press actually. Okay. Now you can see here, I am entering A, that is 97. Uppercase A 65. Z 122. So 97 to 122 is lowercase. And 65 to 90 is uppercase. That is uppercase. So that means 65 to 90 uppercase. And lowercase a means 97, 97 lowercase z means 122. So we can get the characters code. Why these character codes are important? You don't need to write this logic, just I showed you. Why the character code is important is, suppose these character codes are important because when user types here, I want the name to start with uppercase letter. Name must start with uppercase letter. Any name must start with uppercase letter. Then how to verify whether first letter is an uppercase letter or not? Means how do we verify that the first letter is an uppercase letter or not? Usually I will remove this code. This is previous code. Here this time we are using key press. Remember, I will tell you the difference first here. Usually, suppose I am writing key code. So key up is there. Generally, key up. Suppose I typed John. How many keys are up? How many keys are up here? So 4 keys are up. Suppose I am using key press, and I entered John. How many keys pressed here? Only 3 keys pressed. Why? Because currently cursor is in N. So it indicates that this is not finished. Key press will work only when you finish. Finish means you put a space after it. Then it indicates 4. But key up means it will verify immediately. If you want to verify immediately, then we have to use key up. If you want to verify after it is finished, then it is key press. So how many keys up? 4. How many keys pressed? 3. Now the doubt is when to use key up and when to use key press. If you are verifying characters, then use key up. If you are verifying their code, then use key press. That means key up here, 4 keys up. Here key press means 3 keys press. And key up is good. This is good for characters. Key press is good for character code. Why? Because key up means key is not finished. Just key is released. It is not finished. If key is not finished, its code will not be correctly written. That is the reason if you are dealing with codes, then which option we have to use? When you are dealing with the codes, which option we have to use? We are dealing with the codes means you have to do with which one? Key press. When you are dealing with the others, characters, then which one we have to use? Key up, right? We have key up, another one key press. So when to use key up? When you are dealing with characters. When to use key press? When you are dealing with their code. Why? Because code is not returned when key is up. Code is returned only when key is pressed. So always you have to remember these 2 points, very important. Suppose now we are dealing with code. Code means what? If username, whatever the username is there, it should start with uppercase letter. That means which character must be uppercase first? How to get the first character? We want to get the first character's code. That means we will write a condition. If username dot char code at 0. Char code at 0 means first character code is greater than or equal to 65. And double ampersand. Logical and means second expression. We can combine multiple expressions. These all operators we are going to learn. So we can combine expression using or. We can combine expression by using and. If you combine expression using or, if any one expression is true, it will run. But if you want all expressions to true, then we have to use what? And. And indicates both must satisfy. What is the second condition? Username dot char code at 0 is less than or equal to 90. This means it is uppercase. If the code is 65 and less than 90, 65 to 90 means all are uppercase letters. If first character is between 65 to 90, that means it is uppercase. Then user error dot inner HTML will be empty. We don't display any message. Otherwise, we will display message user error dot inner HTML. What is the message? So name must start with so uppercase letter. This we will do and say font color as red. That's what we are defining. Now see, the point here is I am entering the name and I entered some name. Name must be uppercase letter. If name starting with an uppercase letter, so starting with an uppercase letter, so now you can see it should verify. But observe carefully, it is not verifying. It is not verifying. See immediately. Observe carefully. Suppose I entered D. I entered uppercase D. It's not verifying. Immediately it is not verifying. Why it is not verifying immediately? Because it doesn't recognize that key is finished. When the key is finished, when you use a space, then key is finished. But that is not good idea here, because we don't want user to add spaces. Then what you do? Just do one more thing here. Instead of key press, you verify on blur. Understood? On blur. On blur. Now I entered some name. Now you can see name must start with uppercase. I entered uppercase letter. Now it is okay. On blur, we can verify whether it is any name. It should start with an uppercase letter. I added an uppercase letter. Now it is fine. Right? How you know whether it is an uppercase letter or not? By using this method. What is it? Char code at. So char at also we will see later how to work with that. Right? Char at means which character is present. Suppose you are expecting to start with particular character, then we can use it. Another example I will show for that. So this is example for, suppose I will give syntax where str is equal to some array, like some Ajax I given. Now str dot char code at 0. What it will return? It will return 65 because character at 0 is a uppercase and its code is 65. That is how it returns. So next example is this. This is an example. Let me copy this. Yep. This is one length, another one char at, another one char code. Next important, we have another option, index of. Index of. It returns the index number. Index number of specified character. So if character is not found, then it returns -1. It finds only first occurrence of character. It returns only first occurrence of character, only the first occurrence of character. Index of, if it is not there, it will return -1. So for example, we have a string that is some welcome. Str dot index of e. What it will return? 1. But I want the last occurrence. We have a last index of. Last index of is nothing but it returns the last occurrence index number of character. Every occurrence, for that we need to write a logic that you will see later. Syntactically, suppose where str is welcome and str dot last index of e, what it will return? It will return 6 because it returns the last occurrence index number. That means same character last where it occurred, not second, third, fourth, last. Suppose if it is occurring 5 times, if I want to know every time where it occurred, then there is another concept for that. So what is index of? Index of will find the first occurrence. What is last index of? It will find the last occurrence. In between, for that we need to write a logic, right? We will see later when we learn for loops and all, we will learn. So initially we have index of, last index of, and both of them, if that particular character is not there, both of them will return -1. If the character is not present, both of them are going to return -1, right? That is. So for example, let's see here, suppose I have another one, some email. Okay. And here verify email. And ID is email. ID is email. And here we have email error. Now what I want is here, let's write a logic. So a function So verify email, where email is equal to document get element by ID email dot value. Now here where email error document get element by ID email error. Email error is a data definition. So if email dot index of at the net means in email we are searching for which character? At the net. If at the net is equal to -1, what does it means? In email that you have entered, you are searching for which character? At the net. Index of will return its index number where at the net is present. If at the net is not present, it will return -1. That means what does it means if returns -1? Email error should inner HTML should display invalid email. Invalid email. Please include at the net. And font color will keep red. Otherwise, if it is not -1, even if it is 0, 0 means it is having at the net. But we don't want to be 0. 0 means what? So that means we want minimum 3-4 characters after. After 3-4 characters, so it can be there, but not immediately starting with. Then we can write another condition here. What is it? If email dot index of at the net is less than 2. Less than 2 means it is starting with at the net. That's not good. If it is starting with at the net, that is not good. If it is less than 2, then email error inner HTML, it should display. So not email format is not good like this. So our email format is invalid. Email format is invalid, right? That is what we are giving font color as what? Red. Otherwise, if it is greater than 2, that means it is present after that, then email error dot inner HTML we will keep empty. We don't display any messages. These are all we are doing on blur. On blur means, so somebody entered email here, some name and gmail.com. Some name is entered here and it says invalid email, please include at the net. Right? We need to include at the net. So I am including at the net here. Now it is okay. Suppose I am including at the net, not including, it's not there. Including at the net, suppose here I include at the net, invalid format. Because at the net is there, but not in good position. Because minimum 2 characters, like we have HR at Gmail something. So we cannot start like this. So at least few characters, that is okay. That you decide. You want minimum 3, minimum 4, your wish. How do we search whether that character is present or not? For that, what we have to do, we need to get this option. This is example for that. This is to verify the characters. Whether a character is there, you can verify index of, you can verify last. Generally, last index of, generally when we do is, suppose I want to verify domains. Domain means sometimes, let's remove this. When user enters email, in email there can be dot. I want to get the domain name and display. Domain name means when user enters email here, some David at outlook.com. Now here I want to get this one. After that particular dot, what is there? I need to get that. After that dot, what is there? I need to get. But sometimes dot can be here in ID also. In ID also there can be dot. Now I need only last dot occurrence. Then in that case, what we have to do? Index of dot means it will return this. Last index of dot means it will return this. From here we can read. How to read? For that some more functions are required. We will see them. How we can read characters from that particular index. We will see that. For that we need one more option to learn. Then we can handle that example. See? So index of, last index of. Next important we have another one is in the string functions 6. We have starts with. Starts with actually it returns true if string starts with specified characters. Specified characters means it is a single character or many characters. You can verify single or many. Similarly, you have another option ends with. So it returns true if string ends with specified characters. Chars, that is ends with. So we have option like suppose where str is equal to, suppose welcome, and str dot starts with w. I am writing starts with w. This will return true. Str dot ends with w. This will return false because it is not ending with w. From which character it is starting, which character it is ending, these we can verify by using that. For example, let's see here. How do we use start at end with? Suppose we are defining here. Let's go and add here a simple example. Okay. This not verify. I am creating here a data term. So your card number. And we have a data definition. Input type is equal to text. ID is equal to card. We have an image here. ID is equal to pic. So width is 150, 90. Okay. Height is some 30. We have image. It's very huge image. Okay, so let's link. Relation is style sheet. Href node modules. Bootstrap dist CSS. Bootstrap.css. In the body, we have a class container fluid. Class margin top 4. And this have a class input group. We learned already input group, and this have a class. This is W25. Okay. And this is text box is having a class form control. And this is having a class card. This is not card. This is image na. That means input group text. Okay, like this I am defining. This is how we have. And card is data list. This is the original actually. So 50. Okay, fine. Now the height of this card is not defined. Then it is like this. Okay. Now this is the your card number. We are having this your card number. Fine. Next, what we will do is we will write here on blur verify card. Okay, that is the function. Here in the script function verify card. We will use here some pictures. Let's open in Explorer. In my images, I am having some images. Let's copy some images. So I have images like master and visa. Let's copy in our project. Public images. Let's add these images. Master and visa, these are PNG files. Okay. Now I am writing the logic in this way. So where pick is document, get element by ID pick. Where card is equal to document, get element by ID card. So this is a value. It is a string. We will write a condition. If card dot starts with, it is starting with 444455 sequence. If it is starting with 4455, then pick dot src is equal to public images. So visa dot png. So otherwise, so pick dot src is equal to, so public images, and we have master dot png. That's how simple basic logic I written. Now here they are entering the card number. Card number starting with 4455, and it is having some sequence like this. And when they entered the card number and it is finished, it shows visa. If the card number is starting with some 55 sequence, then it is master. If it is starting with the 44 sequence, then it is visa. That means we can verify whether it is starting with that particular, right? I written only one condition, like that many conditions we write. So similarly, we have this is starting with that particular, right? How do we verify? Is it ending with? Suppose data term, we will say your Skype ID, right? And your Skype ID, suppose here we are having link relation is equal to style sheet. Href is node modules, bootstrap, icons, font, icons, CSS. Suppose here we are having your Skype ID, and here we put a span class BI Skype. I defined like this. That means it will say your Skype ID. And here, so we are adding a data definition, and input type is equal to text. ID is equal to Skype. And this must be class form control. And we have another data definition. ID is, this is error. What error? This is Skype error. Okay, now what should happen here is when user is finished typing on blur, verify Skype. So we need verify Skype, and here we are adding a function. What is the function verify Skype? On this var Skype is equal to document get element by ID. We have a Skype dot value. And the condition is if and when. Another one is Skype error. Document get element by ID. We have Skype error. And if Skype dot ends with outlook.com. If it is ending with outlook.com. If it is ending with outlook.com, that means it is an Skype ID. So that means now Skype error dot inner HTML is empty. Otherwise, so Skype error dot inner HTML, it should say invalid Skype ID. So we'll just put a font color and say red. Now you can see here, I'm entering the Skype IDs here. Suppose any ID, suppose contact@gmail.com. Invalid Skype ID. Because it should end with whom? Outlook.com. Then it is okay. Anything else is not allowed. Suppose I am typing some msn.com, not allowed. So we have to allow specific, then outlook.com. Now it is fine. Here also we are entering some card number. So 4455 like this, then it is Visa. So this is basic of how we can verify. Starts with, another one ends with. These are actually Boolean functions. They are used to verify and report. This is example for them. So starts with, ends with. You can verify one character or you can verify many characters also. So that is another option. Next important in the string functions. So we have, what else we are having in the string functions? We have three things. One is slice is one function. And substr. First I will explain them. And we have substring. In many interviews of JavaScript, they ask this question. What is the difference between them? First, I will explain, then I will give the note for this. Slice, str and substring. Because all three look similar in certain functionality. Slice, substring, and substr. For example, you see here, I am writing a simple string. So this is string demo 3 HTML. Just I am writing a script here. So where str is string is welcome to JavaScript. Now I am using document.write. Let's do some work. So here, slice. I'm using str.slice, slice from 7. Okay, I'm giving slice from 7. In the next line, we have substr. Substr. and I am using str dot sub str 7. Okay, next line. I am using substring. Okay. And str dot substring. Substring what? 7. We are doing this. Now what happens is, you can see all three are going to return the same result. All three are going to return the same result. To JavaScript, to JavaScript, to JavaScript. Then obviously question will be there, what is difference? Because all are returning same. So, but lot of difference is there. What is difference is actually, what is the point about? One by one I will show you. Slice is nothing but it specifies the characters between the index given. That means from which index to which. That is slice. Starting index, ending index. And ending index must be the index after starting. That means, for example, when we are doing with the slice, I am giving starting index is suppose some 3. Ending index is 7. That means it will read the characters from 3 to 7 and show. That means it is reading from 3. 0, 1, 2. It is starting from where? 3. 3 to 7 it is reading. Now if I define 3 to 0, 0 index. 0 index means backward, right? From 3 to backward. That means you see backward means it should return WEL, and you see it's not working. That means it can go one direction only. It can go only one direction, right side. If you don't give end, it will read up to end. If you don't give end, it will read up to end. It is going to read up to end, it will read. If you give end, it will stop there. And the end index cannot be less than the start index. Less than the start index. So it will not go backward, right? That is the point about slice. So what is slice is, first point is it reads the characters between specified index. Here, so syntax is slice, str dot slice, start index and end index. Very important, if end index is not defined, then it reads up to end. Another point, end index must be greater than start index. End index must be greater than start index. So we have substring. Now slice is going to start between start index and end index. So if end index is not defined, then it reads up to end. So if end index and index must be greater than start index. So it cannot read bidirectional. 2 ways it cannot read, right? That is the option. So that is the point about slice. Now, what about substring? What about the concept of sub-str? Actually, sub-str, it reads the specified number of characters. It reads the specified number of characters from given index, and it is not bidirectional. It is not bidirectional, same like slice. Bidirectional means two directions. It should be able to read right, it should be able to read left. And it is not bidirectional. It cannot read both directions, right? That is. So here you can see now, suppose I am using substring. So substring str. In sub-str, we have str dot sub-str here starting from 7 or starting from how much? 3. If I write like this, it will be up to end. Up to end means it will read up to end. But you write like this, 3, suppose I defined 4. It means 4 characters after 3. It is not 4 index. How many characters after 3? How many characters after 3? 4. That means it will return this come. Actually, slice is what 3, 4 means? 3 index to 4 index. That means it will read only 1 character. How many characters from there? That is what actually sub-str. You see, sub-str, it is the specified number of characters from given index. It is not bidirectional. Specified number of characters means syntactically we write like this. Str dot sub-str, we have index number and he have how many? How many from that index number? From that index number, how many? It is not end index. How many characters from that particular index? That is defined. How many characters from that particular index we can access that? That is actually sub-str. So will suppose if I give 0, what does it means? 0 characters from 3, then it will not read anything. 0 characters from 3, it will not read anything. It is not backward direction. It is just how many characters from there. So only 1 character from there. It can read 1 character. It can read only 2 characters from there. Like this, we can define. If that is not defined, it will read up to end. That's the reason if I don't give the end, it was reading up to end every time. So all 3 looks similar, but all 3 are not similar, right? So that is the point about sub-str. Substring, actually, it reads the characters between specified index. And very important is it is bidirectional. It is bidirectional. That means it can read left and right, both directions. So that means syntactically it will define str substring, and we have start index and we have end index. End index, what is the advantage is end index can be left or right precedence. It can be left or right precedence. Means it can preside towards right or towards left. So that is what actually substring. So what is good about substring is it can read both directions. Suppose I have defined like this. That means we are adding a substring. Just add here substring. This is, yeah, substring. Substring. So here we are using str dot what? Substring. Substring. And in substring, I am defining some 7. I am not giving end. Then it will read what? Up to end. Up to end it will read from which position? 7. Suppose I given 7 comma 0. 0. That means 0 is backward direction. So it can read backward direction. It can both directions it can read, which is not possible in others. Which is not possible in others. So it can read in that way. So str substring, you can say 7 comma 0. And this is valid. str dot sub str. So 7 comma 0. That means this is invalid. Invalid. Invalid means it will not read anything. str dot slice. Slice 7 comma 0. This is also invalid. Invalid. That is possible only for whom? Only for substring. So sub str and substring, that is. These are the string functions. Okay. Next important here. This is simple example. Okay. So understood the difference? Huh? What is difference between slice, sub str and substring? Next important, we have the option trim. Trim. Actually, it is used to remove the leading spaces. The leading spaces in a string. Leading spaces is nothing but space before and after string. These spaces are called as leading spaces actually. Leading spaces. That is important. For example, suppose it is not for spaces in between. It is for the spaces before and after. So for example, let's see what is that leading spaces. I will keep that here and say, so your OTP input type is equal to text, ID is OTP. Okay, and just I will write on blur verify OTP and function. We will put a div. So div ID is MSG. Okay. Now here we are writing a simple logic. That is the script. So that is function verify OTP. Suppose where we will just access OTP from document dot get element by ID OTP dot value and where MSG document get element by ID MSG. If OTP is equal to suppose 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, something like this, then MSG dot inner HTML, it is empty. Otherwise, MSG dot inner HTML, so invalid OTP. Like this, we return. 4567 is the valid OTP. Now what happens is in this, so they are typing the OTP and invalid OTP. We'll put font color as red. Okay, so here we are typing OTP. So that is 45678. That is the OTP. And it says where we written on blur verify OTP MSG inner HTML. If OTP, okay. So now we will write here. So 45678 and it says invalid. Why? It is valid only now, but actually accidentally I given a space here. It will consider the spaces. So then if I don't enter now, it is fine. Accidental space after also it is invalid. These kind of blank spaces are very common when user is typing. Then we don't want those leading spaces to be taken. We want to delete them. Right? What you do is before you compare here, you trim the string. Whenever you read a string, first trim the string. That means delete the unnecessary spaces that come before and after. After trimming, verify. That means now what happens? The value read from text box. It is deleted with additional spaces. After deleting with additional spaces, it is comparing. That means you see now, so I entered here. I am removing this. That means I am adding 4, 6, 7, 8. Some spaces are there. It doesn't matter. If wrong number is there, then it matters. If spaces are there, it doesn't matter. If the correct number is defined, then it will be fine. So this is very much required in most of the occasions because we need to clean up the additional spaces. So syntactically, so we have str.trim. Example, we will see here how the example works. This is the basic example. How we can manage, that is the example, right? This is the function, how we can manage. These are all which functions? String. Now in string functions, some more functions are there. How to handle them, that we will see in next session. Okay. So this is enough. First you have to try this. I have seen some examples you uploaded, BMI calculator. Many people have done very good job, right? But I will shortlist 1 or 2 good, very, very good ones, and we will shortlist for gift. So similarly, one more exercise I will give after string functions, right? You must able to try that. Others who are not doing the exercises, do them. Because whenever generally campus drives comes, companies will come from selections and interviews. We choose only the people who are regularly submitting exercises. We don't care about others. We don't care. Why to care? Right? We will care for the people only who are doing exercises, submitting exercises, and others we don't even consider also. Right? So you are posting the exercises into the classroom. Our admin will be monitoring them. If any job opportunities drives are coming, we will first recommend those people who do regular exercises. Other people we ignore. That's the reason post your exercises, we will check them. Okay, na? Then tomorrow we'll continue, right? Yeah.